Right, here's yet another Delta 1460 teardown. You can see right here, this is pretty much the condition it was in when I picked it up. I bought it for $50. I apparently was at one point in a high school wood shop, but it was given to a student when they got new lathes. Right away you can see that the stand is missing. It's been put on this bench. And also the headstock is on backwards. I have no idea why they would do that. It actually results in the pulleys being backwards so that there is no adjustment in speed. This is the side that you should be looking at. It's in pretty good shape. Everything moves freely. It's got, of course, rust and many years of dirt on it. So this is a 1944 version based on the serial number. And here it's got the original motor. And it also came with a whole bunch of other parts, some of which I'm not really sure what they are. We've got like an old bench grinder and various attachments that I'm not sure of. A few ends. We've got a live center and a dead center, which may be the original one. I'm going to go through it and check the bearings and everything, go through the motor, make sure it's all good, and just clean everything up and turn that headstock around the right way before I get into actually trying it out. You will notice that there's one slightly newer piece, something that's shiny. They recently put on a new live center. I guess I'll next attack this end of it. That seems pretty tight. Have to lube that up pretty well. Being gentle with this because I think this is soft metal. And I suspect that there's a spring in here too, so yep. And there's one more piece down in there I'm gonna have to get this thing out before I can pull that out. This thing is not moving. I'm gonna have to look into how to get that out correctly. All right, I've taken a look in the manual. I think I have a better idea for how this is set up. I think I have to take this off. Okay, so I played with this a little bit more. I took that live center off and I kind of knocked this in a bit, and it is just really tight in there, so I'm going to try and knock this in a bit more. I'm actually not completely sure if this is the correct way to get it out, but I haven't figured out another way to do it. Okay. All right, now it's sliding out. Okay, yeah, we will definitely need some lube on this thing. Alright, now that I've got that out, maybe I can pull out this piece, the part that locks that down. So I'll just screw this in a bit and maybe it will just pull out. Would I get that lucky? Yeah, it seems to be coming. It's just kind of stubborn like everything else. Yeah, here it comes. All right. Yep, and yeah, these washers were already there. Okay. Nice. Now I've got this whole part and it doesn't look too disfigured or anything. The threads look good. So I don't think that was abused very much. It still fits in there nicely. All right. So the way that was set up, it had this, well, it's got a couple of washers on there, and then that, the top part, the spring, and then this bottom part, which has a nut captive inside of it. So something like that. And as you screw it onto that nut, it squeezes these together, gripping onto this thing. And I don't see any kind of marks. This is all very smooth. Yeah, so this is all in good shape. It just really needs a bit of lube. So there is a key right here that goes into that groove on the bottom there. And if it comes out really easily, we'll take it out. If not, then it can stay in and I'll just put some lube around it. It doesn't seem, you know, damaged in any way. It's not marked up. But yeah, the inside of this is smooth, but definitely needs a bit of lube. So organization is always something I remember a bit later than I should, but I will keep all of these pieces organized. I have a few of these trays. All right, I guess that brings us to this mysterious headstock that's on backwards. Let's see. Yeah, I can just turn that off. That was hardly on there. So this piece just lifts off. So everything looks in pretty good shape. There's only slight surface rust. The paint is not bad. I mean, it's not great either, but remember this is a 1944 thing, and this is likely the original paint. Alright, and one thing of note, the indexing pin is here. It's pretty stuck in there. Again, just something that needs a bit of lube, but I do have the indexing pin. Cool. I'll mess with that a bit later. Now I need to just kind of remove this thing, and I would like to, while it's still on here, remove the shaft and the pulley, get this belt out of the way. So that's my next task. And fortunately, I do have a wrench. Let's see what 949. I don't know. Is that the original wrench that came with this thing? Quite possibly. It's the right shape. All right. Didn't have a 1 1/4 inch wrench, but for some reason I have a 1 1/4 inch socket, and it just happens to fit on there. So I can get this off. So it's not too tight on there, but it is, I guess, cleaning off those threads as it comes off of there. It's just those threads are so dirty, they're kind of gummed up, especially at the end. By the time I get this nut off of there, I guess that'll be pretty clean. And of course I'm going to have to clean up these threads. Yeah, all right. So I've been kind of cleaning this thing up a little bit, and I thought I'd show you this. It's kind of appropriate. So I kind of cleaned up this side, but how convenient that I'm working with a lathe. I've just got a screwdriver that's not sharp at all. It's a rather rounded edge here. I don't want to dig into the metal at all, but here I'm not wood turning, I'm grease turning. I can just kind of hold this screwdriver against the shaft and spin it. I'm not putting a lot of pressure on it, but I'm just kind of peeling that layer of gunk away. Yeah, I just thought that was kind of funny. Grease turning. Alright, I suppose I need to take this bearing cap off. Oh, but I'm going to need to take out the nut on this side. Huh. Okay, well, back in with the set screws, I guess. So let's see if I can get this to come off. Again, this is left-handed thread. Yep. Okay, so that's pretty loose. Alright, and I guess I don't have to worry about mixing these up because they have opposite threads. One's right-handed, one's left-handed. Ooh, and that is sharp. Yeah, that was, not the highest quality machining job there. They just left a really sharp end of that thread poking out. Alright, now that I've got that off, now I can try and take this bearing cap out. Okay, sure. Okay. Now once again, let's try to take out the set screw for the pulley. Alright. Now I can just careful here. Knock this out. Oops. Gotta slide this pulley off at the same time, but it is nicely stuck on that shaft just because it's so grimy. Alright. Just knock on that a bit. And that bearing slides right off. Yeah, we'll look at that in a second. Just trying to get this pulley off now. Almost there. Okay. Almost out. All right, nice. Okay, so that old belt out of the way. It's in pretty bad shape. Need to replace that. We've got our pulley out there. And here's the shaft. A little bit of marking on that where those set screws are kind of dug in a bit. But other than that, it's in nice shape. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Now how about this bearing? So I can feel a bit of roughness in that, but it doesn't have any play at all. Yeah, good tolerances. Okay, now we're over on the other side here, and I've just taken these screws out here. This should just come right off. Should. It's less willing to come off than the other side, but okay, there it goes. It was just stuck. Right, another one of these. And this bearing should just pop out of here. Oh, that came out very nicely. Okay, let's see. This is again, new departure. C88505, made in USA. Oh, and this one, I can feel some roughness in that. That feels chunky. Alright, I might be getting some new bearings. Alright, so now I can get this indexing pin out of here. It's just a bit dirty, like everything else. It should come out. Yep. And there's supposed to be a little detent ball and spring down there. I can see the ball. I'm going to have to definitely clean this out. Probably pull that ball and the spring out somehow. But yeah, this all needs to be cleaned up a lot. Lubricated. You can see down in there, it's just a hole down to the floor. So there are 4 bolts that I need to take out now so that I can turn this thing around and clean it up a bunch. Alright, so I did manage to get out that spring and detent ball with some tiny screwdrivers. And I took off the 4 bolts. So now this can come off. Yeah. I think there are some pins. Yep. Oh, no. No pins. Alright. So that came off. And finally, I can turn it around. Of course, I'm going to clean it all up before I put it back on there. Excellent. So this whole thing is apart at this point. And now I've got a lot of cleaning to do.